Hello everybody, and welcome back to What If Megatron won in TF 2007. We're on to part 4, so now let's not waste any more time, and let's get started. We continue off with where Ironhide was, and after he gets over the reaction of the Optimus drone, he demands to know why they have this. But Simmons explains that Optimus was the only one of them that kept Megatron on his toes. So if they were going to base their first drone off of any of them, it would be him. Ironhide calms down and thinks, and then he agrees to that. And then he asks how the progress is going with it. Simmons explains that it is nearly done for combat training. Sometime later, everyone is gathered up as Simmons and Joshua showcase the Optimus Prime drone, or as they call it, Galvatron. Then they bring it into an enclosed room, and they let Bone Crusher out inside of the room to fight Galvatron as their first test. Bone Crusher says this will be easy, so he fights Galvatron with it pretty even at first, but Bone Crusher learns from last time when he fought Optimus, so he keeps his arms away from getting grabbed, and then he stabs the drone with his back claw, and he is about to tear it apart as he is just damaging it, but then Hot Rod fires his stop-the-time gun, and then when Bone Crusher is frozen, Ironhide and Storm Rain subdue him and lock him back up. Joshua is beyond furious and asks what happened, and they need to fix this, as they cannot expect to save this planet with a piece of scrap metal. Later, the scientists come out and say that they failed due to the technology not being advanced enough, as this is still in its infancy and they've only been on the work on it for a few months now. Joshua storms off, pissed off at this, while the scientists begin to get back to doing the repairs. Ironhide looks at the drone and thinks that if it's technology it needs, then he has what it might need. So he goes to talk to Storm Rain later, and Storm Rain agrees to what Ironhide's plan is. So Ironhide approaches the drone later when it's all fixed with the staff in hand, and he stabs it into it. The systems of the drone immediately boot up, and the scientists are amazed by its functionality, as it shows more power surging through its body than it was before. So they put this to the test by having it fight Bone Crusher again, with the fight ending much quicker as Galvatron rips off Bone Crusher's head with ease before crushing it completely, which impresses the humans, and they feel it is ready to face the cons in the field, as if it was able to kill Bone Crusher, who Optimus had a bit of a struggle with this easily, then it will most likely do good against the rest of the cons. After Galvatron is put away, Cogman looks to Bone Crusher's body and says he has an idea of how to put it to some good use. So he transforms into his headmaster form and takes control of the body and starts practicing moves and stuff with it, saying, "This will most certainly do well as a body." Edmund comments on how that's very disturbing, Cogman, but it will suffice. However, we then cut back to some time in the past, back when Mr. Webley had touched Quintessa's staff on the night ship, and we see somewhere deep in space, Quintessa is locked up in a prison, and once the staff is touched, she awakens from her deep slumber. She would escape the prison she was trapped in and begin killing all of the guards, who are actually more knights that were sent to guard her body in case she awoken, where she would kill all of them except one guard, which that guard would be the Talisman Knight Cade would find in the downed ship in TLK, with him managing to get on his ship, and he escapes. Quintessa decides to find out what caused her to awake, so she makes her way back to Cybertron and takes control of her former palace there. She then sends a message to a former creation of hers, that being the well-known bounty hunter Lockdown, who she orders to find Optimus Prime and bring him to her. And once he does, she will give him all that he truly desires, with Lockdown agreeing. So, him and his crew board his ship, and they leave to find Optimus Prime. We then see sometime later, Lockdown actually detects a massive surge of Allspark energy finally hit this sector of space, and he finds out it came from a distant planet. So, he begins his voyage there to find out what caused it. Meanwhile, the Decepticons have spent the last few cycles searching for the Matrix, but haven't found any luck. Until the Fallen detects something. No, someone, a former soldier of his from the past, who has been in stasis. So they head to the location and find the airplane museum we saw in Revenge of the Fallen that houses Jetfire. Megatron uses the Allspark to reactivate Jetfire, and when Jetfire is awakened, he is immediately surrounded and subdued, where they begin interrogating him for information. So, after some time, they eventually get it out of him, with him reluctantly giving the clue. To which Megatron is satisfied, and then he kills him with an Allspark beam, killing the old-timer once and for all. And so the Decepticons now have the clue to find it. But their search doesn't take long, as Soundwave actually uses his abilities to search the web for any clues, and within mere few minutes, or even moments even, he finds the result of what the clue's answer is. As if Sam was able to figure it out on the fly in the movie, then it'd be pretty easy for Soundwave to figure it out. So, the Decepticons head to where the Tomb of the Primes is. When the Fallen enters, he has a moment where he looks to his brothers, who all died to guard the Matrix from him. And for a moment he feels something. But he pushes that aside, and he grabs the Matrix. And then he has the whole tomb destroyed with his brothers' bodies gone. To which he feels satisfaction. And then he leaves, telling the Decepticons it is time. During this, Sector 7 would get reports of the Decepticons in Egypt, especially their movement around the pyramids. So Ironhide says they must do something now. So the team rolls out, and they all begin their march to Egypt. Lockdown has finally arrived to Earth's orbit, and he goes to where the Allspark signal is coming from, with his ship standing in front of the pyramids. He exits his ship, to which Megatron questions, "Who in the inferno are you?" With Lockdown explaining himself, and Megatron then remembers him, as he did hire him a few times in the past. He then asks what Lockdown wants, to which Lockdown explains that he is looking for Optimus Prime. To which Megatron says he is dead. Lockdown has a look of fury on his face, and then he asks who killed him, with Megatron saying he did it, and if he doesn't leave now, he will do the same to him. Lockdown stares at Megatron with scowl in his face, and then he eventually orders his ship to leave. However, he reports back exactly what had happened to Quintessa, to which Quintessa is beyond furious, so she orders him to return to her so that she may deal with this herself. Meanwhile, some time has passed and the Autobots have arrived to Egypt with the humans' aid. However, on the way, they aren't alone, as a bunch of pods crash land near one of the locations they were traveling by. And they see it as a group of Autobots, but not just any. Autobot Group Wave 2, consisting of Sideswipe, Jolt, the RC Sisters, and Skits and Mudflap. Ironhide is more than happy to see them, especially Sideswipe since they are close friends. RC would then explain that she got the message that was sent to space after Mission City, to which her sisters, and the twins were already on their way, but they would be joined by Sideswipe and Jolt. The group is updated on the situation that has happened since that message, with them more than eager to aid in the fight. So, they get their vehicle modes, and then they roll out on their way to the pyramids. At the pyramids, the Fallen orders the Decepticons to begin digging, while some of them, like Starscream, stay around the area, killing any humans that might try to intervene, with the Egyptian military not really doing so well against them. Afterwards, Soundwave reports that he has gotten in contact with the Constructicons, and they are on their way. So Megatron says that's good, but then Megatron with the Allspark senses something, the Autobots' arrival. So, he has the Decepticons prepared to destroy them. Dragonstorm then comes flying out of the sky, and he tries to destroy the Star Harvester, but the Fallen attacks, teleporting onto him, and he holds on while stabbing him with his staff, causing them to crash into the Egyptian architecture below, with the Fallen and Dragonstorm having a fight. This time the Fallen holds off much better against the Dragon, since he's much more prepared to fight him. Then the rest of the Autobots come rolling out. Ironhide, Galvatron, and Hot Rod head right after Megatron. And Galvatron is working because a human at the Sector 7 KSI facility is controlling him, allowing them to fight. As the other Autobots begin fighting the Decepticons, Stockade is about to try to shoot Jolt, but then he is hit by Salvage in his truck mode. Then Longarm comes in and hooking him up and drags him, slamming him into architecture. Stocklade gets up and sees the two transform. He then calls them traitors, with them saying that they've just chosen a better side. So it is Allspark creation against the three. As the three Autobots fight Megatron, he laughs at them, with him shooting an Allspark beam, although the three do dodge it and counteract it with Hot Rod trying to shoot his stop-the-time gun. But this time Megatron dodges it, and he pulls out his mace and swings it right into Hot Rod, killing him instantly, with Ironhide screaming, "Kid, no!" But Megatron has his mace sliced off at that moment by Galvatron, using his own Energon swords. Then Galvatron charges and starts slicing and dicing him, with the staff not only giving him a power boost to stand toe-to-toe to him, but since he's a drone, he can't feel pain like Megatron. And while Megatron tries using the Allspark to heal himself whenever he takes damage, it is still a slow process as he has taken damage quickly. Meanwhile, Dragonstorm tries taking down the Fallen, but since the Fallen is a prime and the Knights are older, he is able to outpace them. And the Fallen does something that completely takes down Dragonstorm, as he uses his staff to slice all three of the dragon's heads off, causing the dragon to uncombine, with Storm Rain and two other Knights having been killed by that attack. Then the 9 remaining Knights try to fight the Fallen, but he is still too much for them, and so one by one he kills all of them. While that happens, all the Autobots look to the Decepticons as they fight them for what might be the last fight they will ever have. And that is where I'm going to leave it for now. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We're done with part 4, so there's only 3 parts left. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, good day.